Hello, friends. So, I want to talk about something that has been coming up quite a bit lately, and it has to do with what is in your human design chart and I guess how much we lean on that to be an absolute truth. So, what I mean by that is I was talking to a soul sister, and one of her clients has has his discipline arrow pointing to the left, meaning that he's pretty consistent, he's pretty structured, he's pretty masculine energy when it comes to discipline. Now, the conversation went around, well, he's not always super disciplined, so how does that, does that show up somewhere else? And it was fun because it brought the conversation to, well, he's not going to be disciplined on something that he doesn't actually want to do, right? There's so many things within our chart that, yeah, you may have access to consistency. Yes, you may have access to discipline. Yes, you may have access to motivation. Yes, you may have access to sustainable energy and so on and so forth. However, it's not a foregone conclusion. There are things that go along with it that will then make it true or not true for you, right? From a sustainable energy standpoint, if you're doing things that you don't love, you're not going to have sustainable energy, even though you have the capacity for it in your chart. Just because you have potentially a defined heart and have consistent motivation doesn't mean you're going to be motivated to do things you don't actually want to do, right? So it's looking at what's in your chart and what you have the capacity to have access to, what you have the ability to have consistently, and then look and see how you're trying to use them if you feel like you don't have them. Because likely you're trying to use it on something that is not actually for you. The universe, God, is going to essentially gift you with a burnout, make things harder and more energy and forcing and difficult in order to show you, hey, this is not your way. Hey, this is not for you. And so many times as humans, my dog is chasing a squirrel. I'm sorry, squirrely. We see these hard times of, I don't have the energy to do it, or I'm not feeling motivated, I don't feel disciplined, And we see it as a challenge, and we see it as like an opportunity to force our way through it and to show people how we can just get it done and force and crush it and push and all the things. Well, that's not how you're meant to do it. That doesn't feel good. And so it's always coming back to, yes, you may have these things in your chart, and you're not meant to use them doing things that you don't want to do, because they're not going to be there, right? If you have a left-facing discipline arrow and you're like, I'm super disciplined, but why can't I go to the gym every day? It's like, well, do you actually want to go to the gym every day? Does that actually bring you joy? Is that something you love doing? Because if not, you're not going to be disciplined doing it. And so and if you have a right-facing discipline arrow, it doesn't mean you can't go to the gym every day. However, you may find, if you have a right-facing discipline arrow, that you don't actually, if you say, I want to go to the gym every day, and maybe you really do, right? And you have a right-facing arrow. However, what this can look like is maybe not going to the gym every day, but working out every day in some capacity. And so when you have a right-facing arrow, it's just giving yourself a little bit more grace and fluidity and space for things to maybe have a little bit of a different look and not always be the same. So I'm going to leave this here. I just really wanted to, oh, hi, Ravy. Sorry, I saw this like shadow of a bird. I just really wanted to bring the conversation back to, you may have access to things in your chart, but that doesn't mean you always can do it, especially for things you don't want to do. So if you're wondering what's going on, just bring it back to, is this something I love? Is my heart in it? Do I actually want to, right? And see if those answers are yeses or nos. And that will give you the answer for why it's easy or for why it's hard. So if you have any questions, let me know. Sending you guys so much love.